Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the LinkedOut show. My name is Harsh. I'm a marketing professional, a stand up comedian, and your host for the show. And today we have a brand new guest with us. Welcome to the show. And can you introduce yourself to our guests?
My name is Chang. I'm the CEO of 1004 Gourmet. We're an Asian kind of food import retail business. As well, we also have Ugly Noodles. That's hopefully going to open up a shop earlier next year. And then I also have a kind of a small passion project of mine, which is a Soul Street Cafe, which exists in 3 of our 1004 locations. And yeah, that's what I do.
Wow. Like if my parents could see this interview, they're like, why is your intro never this long? Like, I think it took like 20 minutes to just talk about everything you
Just start
do.
online
You're,
businesses.
you're still not done listing things. That's amazing.
Thank you. Thank you.
1004 gourmet. That's a lot of gourmets. Like, did you count one by one or?
My friends always joke that they're going to open up 1005 gourmets next to mine, which, do as you please. But no, 1004 phonetically, when you say it, it's chansa in Korean.
Chansa.
And chansa, there you
Okay.
go. And chansa also means angel. So it's like a double entendre, different
Oh, wow.
meanings.
Okay.
And numbers are quite heavily used in our culture. So in Korean, Japanese, Chinese culture,
Mhm.
numbers are used in replacement of words.
Okay.
So yeah, chansa.
So if you're ever doing like official business, let's say someone from DD or someone's like, what's your company's name? Do you say Chansa or 1004?
I say 1004.
1004.
But then with ugly, we had an issue with the trade license. Actually,
Okay.
we're trying to set up a license on mainland, and they were saying that ugly is a negative word.
Oh, because the business name on the license was Ugly
Needs
Noodle.
to be ugly noodles.
Yeah.
And so they're like, this is not a nice word, and we're trying to redefine ugly. You know what I mean? So
All
we
right.
managed to convince them. We got it, but it took us like a good 2 months to get the
Wow.
license. Yeah,
2 months.
Yeah.
It's such a unique name, to be fair.
Thank you. My wife named it after me. So yeah.
I'll try not to bring that up again. Ugly Noodle. I would definitely be curious to try it the moment you say, because in my head, if you say a dish is gonna look ugly, I know it's gonna taste really good, right?
Right? Yeah, exactly. To be honest, the first time we made up the name was we're thinking about names for our burger joint. We actually had Ugly Burger, which unfortunately closed down, or fortunately closed down.
I've tried that. It's the smash burgers
Yeah,
that you guys
yeah,
used to do.
yeah.
I've tried that.
So we
Yeah.
were in Nikhil for 3 years. Not an easy business. But yeah, we were making burgers. And the first burger we tried, my wife was pregnant in Korea, and I sent her a picture, and she's like, "This is an ugly burger," and we're like, "This is genius." I still haven't paid her royalties for this, but she's asking.
Okay,
Yeah.
fair. Nice. Let's take a step back and talk about your journey. So how long have you been in Dubai?
So Dubai's my home. I've been here since '92, so 33 years, and yeah,
Oh, you
I'm
grew up here. Were you born and raised here?
No, I
or
came here when I was 7.
Okay.
So 40 now. But yeah, it's my home. Very grateful to be doing such a nice business in the city that I grew up in.
Mm,
And also, there was a full circle moment because I grew up in Al Ghurair Center,
okay.
and Al Ghurair Center was the center of Dubai at one point. And in July 1st of this year, we opened up our shop in Al Ghurair Center. So
Oh, wow, congratulations.
yeah, it was a really nice full circle moment. One of my best friends who still lives in Al Ghurair Center actually helped me with the construction and stuff. And so it was a tough journey going through the process of building something with contractor issues and things like that. But yeah, it was a really nice moment.
Now, I grew up here as well, and I've been here since I was 6, and I remember back in the day, Al Ghurair Center was one of the only places that you could go to even like hang out as kids or even as a family. It's one of the only places where you had restaurants and everything. So I must feel very nice to be able to
It's really nice.
the place where you grew up, and now you've got your own store there, you've got your own
Yeah,
brand
now I
there.
have an excuse to go back, but it was really nice because they have their offices inside, and so as opposed to the retail space, I went upstairs through the residences, walking around. I'm like, oh, this is where I played basketball, football. This is where I had my first fight, like. So yeah, it's
Yeah.
very nostalgic.
Okay. So you went to school, university in Dubai.
Yeah, so went to Dubai College, graduated, went to the States, went to Penn State for 4 years. I worked a year as a real estate agent in New York City during the Lehman Brothers crisis in
Oh,
2008. So
okay.
that was a very interesting and interesting experience living with no money in New York. And then my father had opened 1004 Mart in Al Barsha in 2008. And then I joined in end of 2009 to join the family business. And it's been like a good 16-year journey now.
Did you ever have plans on joining the family business, or was that
To be
because real
honest,
estate?
I'm very fortunate because my father started off as a textile agent.
Okay.
So back in the 80s, SK, which is a Korean conglomerate, they were selling the fabric for khanduras and abayas. And my father was representing them in Saudi.
Mm,
So from 1987 to 92, we're in Saudi. And then we moved to Dubai and he was selling it in Dubai. But then we pivoted or we expanded to food in
mm,
2008. So um, I had zero intention of joining the textile business. It's not really my jam. It's not really as fun as food, I would say.
I
I
agree.
was actually more interested in like real estate and things like that. But yeah, there was no intention, but again, it happened kind of serendipitously that he started food and we're immersed in it now.
Nice. So you joined in and you sort of took over, and then your mission was to expand.
I wouldn't say I took over. My
Yeah.
father's very heavily involved in the business.
Okay.
He's taking care of a lot of work, whether it's from the government level or to a financial level. We're always kind of internally communicating and making decisions together. But yeah, like I feel like I'm very lucky because I have a lot of friends in family businesses, and it's not easy sometimes working with your parents or working with your son.
Yeah.
And luckily, he gave me a lot of responsibility early on. He
Yeah.
allowed me to make mistakes, still allows me to make mistakes. So yeah, I think that allowed him to delegate faster, easier, so that he can take a step back a little early and focus on the things that he wants to focus on. So yeah,
That's
very
amazing. Yeah.
fortunate in that sense.
I think there's also a cultural difference, right? Because most partnerships don't work out, let alone partnerships which you have with family members. We've growing up in Dubai, we've heard stories about brothers that fall out and then go and become the competition of their brother, which was a family business that was handed down to these brothers, right? So um I think there's a cultural angle to it as well, where there's similarities as well. There's respect, there's transparency, which when, for example, when your father is giving you these responsibilities in your head, you're like, I need to deliver, and you need
There's
to,
definitely pressure,
yeah, prayer,
right?
lots of pressure.
Yeah, it's because somebody on your shoulder all the time checking. But yeah, I mean, I think accountability is very important, obviously, when you're running a business,
Yeah,
whether or not you have a father as a partner. And I think as long as your foundation is aligned, right? As long as you're looking at it from the same perspective and you're on the right direction, I think ultimately you're going to make the right decisions. But also, I think putting ego aside is extremely important, not just in a business or in life in general, right? And so, dealing with my father, who comes from a old school background, obviously, but also very forward thinking, progressive, and then me as well. I'm a very persistent, what do you call it, stubborn person. And so I think we became softer the longer we worked together, and we learned to let things go when one's opinion is stronger than the other and things like that. So I think setting boundaries and putting ego aside, actually, that's something that I learned a lot working with my
and it
father and
takes
my
time.
wife as well, because my wife is in the Korean cosmetics business,
Okay.
and I'm kind of hands off, but obviously I advise her whenever I can, and yeah, it's an interesting dynamic
Yeah.
in the dinner table. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
No, it's honestly, it's beautiful. Like me and my dad could never have run a business together because we both have different opinions. We both think we're right, and most of the times we're both wrong at the same time. So I think it's beautiful, and it took time, right, to develop that relationship and that trust. So you said first it was called 1004 Mart,
Mart.
and then you've rebranded it to
Yeah.
1004 Gourmet.
So we started in Barsha, organically grew for 10 years, and then we felt like we could grow out of our our shell, and at that point, we really realized that we couldn't just rely on the Korean customer base to run this business. I think in any country you're in, you can't really focus on one demographic. You need to be able to appeal to the general public. And so we moved to a bigger space in the Onyx Tower. It's actually on the second floor of a building, which sounds weird on a retail level in Dubai, but you have second floor retail all over Asia. And so it was on the second floor. So it was a bit of a difficult location to find, but it's in the greens. So it's got a good catchment area. There are kind of higher net worth individuals living in Marina, Jumeirah Park, Meadows, and things like that. So we really believed in the area. And we decided to rebrand to 1004 Gourmet to kind of elevate the brand a
Appeal
little
to them,
bit.
yeah.
But everybody just still calls us like 1004 Mart. So yeah,
Well, as long as they
which I
come and shop.
love, which I love.
Yeah, that means you've got that equity, right? Yeah, I think that's beautiful. I think once you get to Onyx Tower, it's actually easy to find. I've been to the store a few times. I've got a few friends that they like these weird ice creams, right? And
Yeah,
they always go there like, what kind of adventure are we going on today with the ice cream? And I have a friend that loves boba
nice.
and wanted to start making boba to stop spending so much money. And
Yeah, tapioca
tapioca
pearls,
balls,
of
right? They're
course,
like,
of
oh, I
course,
know 1004 sells it. It's the only
100%.
place you trust it. So, and I've been there, and the place is beautiful as well. I think it fits the gourmet. So when you guys moved, was the 1004 Mart, did it have a similar aesthetic or?
No, 1004 Mart was. I don't know if you've been to kind of Asian supermarkets in the States or Europe where it's
Yeah.
like more mom and pop vibes. It was that, and so we really rebranded and kind of elevated the overall image of the shop. And look, I think we're not a Carrefour, we're not a Spinneys. I've said this before, but like I think it's important to sell an experience, especially in this day and age where everybody's on their phones.
Yeah.
People want tangible experiences, and so we made it a conscious decision to make sure that people feel comfortable in the space. They spend as long as possible in the space, and they ask questions, right? And so, the lighting is different, the interior is different, and okay, it cost me, let's say, like 20% more than what it could have, but you get that customer retention, and I feel like actually there's more and more, retail concepts elevating their like supermarket concepts elevating their image, and I think that's the direction that everybody needs to focus on, not just us, but everybody in general. You need to focus on experiences. And we're not just simply selling something. You're coming here to touch something, smell something, and taste something that's different, and learn. Yeah,
And when it comes to, because we have a lot of people here in Dubai that want to start something, right? And there's always something that stands in the way. Some people jump the gun and start without thinking through. There's always that middle ground. When you were expanding, when you joined the business again, and when you were making these changes and making these decisions, is there anything that you think you should have done differently that could have saved you time or money?
I think obviously we're continuously learning, but at that point, um, it's a very good question. I think I could have done more. I think with the vast network that I have, like having grown up here and having spent a lot of time here and knowing a lot of people here, I think I could have asked more questions, and that would have saved me money and saved me time, and probably helped me execute better. And yeah, that's something that I realized then, and that I take into account now whenever I have any questions about anything. So whether it's about finance or HR or expansion or rent or contracts, there's always somebody that I have on my phone that I can ask and get advice on. And so I think um, even though obviously our network is a lot bigger now, 7 years after we opened, but even then we had a lot of friends, but I think I was a bit too shy to ask, and now I'm shameless. Yeah,
No, I think people don't realize how supportive people around you can actually be.
100%.
People, it's when it comes to the admin stuff, because in some cases we've had guests on the show where we asked them, let's take the trade license, for example, right? Someone was like, it took me 15 minutes, went to the DED cafe, 15 minutes. Someone else was like, don't do it yourself. Make sure you get an experienced PRO because they know people there. They know the process. They know how to save you time and money. What was you mentioned with Ugly Noodle, it was a
Yeah,
painstaking.
I think again that is also the same thing where we weren't. There's some things where you can't be familiar with the laws and the regulations, and you go you dive right in to understand what kind of obstacles there may be. And what happened with the ugly noodle license and the name, we had to ask people and talk to people, and most of the time with whether it's banks or DD or any of these free zones, it's actually a lot about communication and them understanding what you want to do. And as long as it's under good intention, they are willing to support. And so I think if you want to do it yourself, and save money, all the respect, but go there, talk to people, and bug them to the extent where they want to help you. You're like, okay, I feel bad for this guy at this point.
Yeah.
He's been here for 3 days now, nothing's been solved. Let me see if I can talk to my friend who works somewhere that can talk to you and understand and maybe make the decision for you. And so, again, asking, right? I think having a dialogue and communicating and understanding that you're trying to add value to this community that is Dubai. So ultimately, I think it's all about conversations.
So Ugly Noodle now is more of a pop-up, right?
Yeah.
A
So
different event.
Ugly Noodles was born as a spinoff of Ugly Burger. We wanted to create a cool, authentic Chinese Hong Kong brand that served dumplings and noodles. So we serve Sichuan noodles and Sichuan dumplings and dandan noodles. And we had the opportunity to get on Shark Tank.
Oh wow.
And so actually they asked me for 1004, but it's a family business and we're a bit more like established than, let's say, Ugly Noodles. And I didn't really want to share confidential numbers. And the same thing with my wife's cosmetics business. But hindsight, to be honest, I think my wife's cosmetics business might have been a good episode on Shark Tank as well. So we didn't want to do it, so I said no. But the producer Chriselle, she was being really, really supportive, and we stayed on the phone for like 10 minutes. And she was saying, "Do you have any other brands?" And I said, "I have Ugly Noodles, but we don't have a shop, we don't have a restaurant. It's just pop ups." And she's like, "Let's do it," And I can say it now. That the show was out, but fortunately, we were able to lock in a deal with Apparel Group and Damat Properties. So Seema and Amira, they're amazing. It has been a year because of the licensing issue and other kind of shareholder agreements and things like that. So we're finalizing everything hopefully this month and hoping to open up in Q1 next year.
Oh wow. Yeah.
But yeah, we were valued at 1 million for 20% without a brick and mortar shop. So I kind of feel like a fraud.
That's crazy.
But no, we're gonna make it happen, and we're actually quite excited because it's completely different to what I've been doing in 1004. And I think that's what's interesting. Where like I spent 10 actually. So Ugly Burger started in 2020, and I spent 12 years trying to build this cool like Korean supermarket brand. Nobody really cared. But then I opened a burger joint and everybody's interested. And so that's one thing about the power of FMB. I think through Ugly Burger, we were able to have opportunities such as being on Shark Tank with Ugly Noodles. You know, we had a shop in the Kilmore for Ugly Burger for 3 years. So going through that, where we're working with a big developer. So I was able to find opportunities that I couldn't with 1004. And obviously, like 1004 is leveraging off of Ugly's, kind of marketing and kind of synergies. And the same thing with Ugly as well. It can leverage off of 1004. So, yeah.
So essentially, whatever you're doing in the F&B is also your supplier is you.
Yeah. So, what a lot of people don't know is we supply around 500 hotels and restaurants in the
Oh,
UAE. 3 Michelin star restaurants like Tristan Studio in France and Rome 45, along with like your Kinoyas and Junes and things like that. So that's around 25% of my business. It's something that we're very proud about as well. Like we're one of the largest importers of Japanese seafood, fruits, and vegetables. We import from the world's largest seafood market called Toyosu Market in Tokyo. And we bring in kind of premium ingredients like uni and Japanese crown melon and strawberries, and we distribute that to a lot of restaurants in the UAE. And I'm very proud of that because it started with one customer. So when I joined the business in 2009, 2010, we already had a supermarket, which we had a manager for. My father was also handling that side, and he said, "Why don't you start approaching restaurants with Korean food, but also Japanese food? Because there's a lot of synergies between the two cuisines." And so our first customer was actually Kisaku, which was a Japanese restaurant in Deira. They moved to Tomo. And then just started with one customer, two customer, and now that it's 15 years in, I think we're a bit more established of being the Asian food kind of
Yeah.
company. And there's a lot more competition now as well. Everybody wants to do Korean and Japanese food now, which is great. Competition, is good for us. I think it keeps us on the edge and keeps us moving and pushing. But yeah, I think at this point, whenever there's a new restaurant opening or when chefs move around to different places, they come to us and ask us for ingredients. So it's been a long journey, but it's very, I don't know, fulfilling, I would say, to see a lot of these restaurants using our ingredients in their amazing dishes.
You must get invited to a lot of restaurants when
Yeah.
that you supply to, like, hey, come try out the new menu.
Yeah, like I really wish I had enough time to visit all of them.
Yeah.
But yeah, whenever they have menu launches or new restaurant branches opening, but we also do collaborations with our friends and clients as well. So we have this kind of event called 1004 and Friends, and basically it started off as us wanting to um, serve the chefs of the community of our clients, because chefs take care of other people, nobody takes care of the chefs.
Yeah.
So let us take care of you. And so we've done 5 iterations right now. Last one was at Girl and the Goose. Shout out to Gabrielle and the team. And we invited like 80 of the top chefs, somms. We even had Big T from Big T Barbecue. Yeah, it was like, every time we do it, it's so fulfilling because chefs don't really get a chance to talk to other chefs. They're always in their kitchens, and they don't get to go out to other restaurants as well. So when you have a room full of 80 people in the industry just catching up and smiling and talking and enjoying good food, it's just the best feeling. And yeah, we're going to do another one on December 15th at Revolver. So keep a lookout for that. There's going to
Nice.
be public tickets available and stuff like that. But
That's very cool.
yeah.
I'm hungry thinking about it already.
Can't wait for you to
Actually,
try
I've been hungry ever since you said ugly noodles.
It's actually Indian with a fusion of Korean and Japanese this time. So
Oh, wow. Okay.
it's going to be amazing. We hashed out the menu in like 30, 40 minutes, and everything just made sense. And we're clicking. And yeah, can't wait for everybody to try it.
So when you started supplying to restaurants with the first one, that was your first, let's say, project that your dad assigned to you, saying, this is what you should try and do.
Yeah, so my first project was actually technically importing the products itself to sell.
Okay.
And so before I had officially joined the business, my father had a friend, rest in peace, he passed away a couple of years ago, but he was the biggest Japanese importer in Korea. So I worked or I interned in that supermarket for 2 months and learned kind of the ropes of the industry, of the food industry. And then I went to Japan for 6 months actually to learn the culture, but it was just a lot of fun. And then my job was to actually find the suppliers, which we did, and we imported, but that was a fail because we threw away a lot of ingredients, a lot. Like just thinking about it still like breaks my heart because we threw away so much food because it wasn't selling, and we didn't have enough of a platform enough of a client base to sell all these ingredients, and I was a really bad salesperson at that time. But yeah, technically it was sourcing it and then going out to to the restaurants and selling. So that was the
And what was that experience like dealing with the first restaurant? Did you find it challenging to?
No. So actually, like I've actually said this before, but my father actually sold it for me. So
Oh,
we had just gone for lunch at this Japanese restaurant we like, and then we're eating their kimchi, and my dad's like, "This kimchi's not it's not really great." So we called Chef Takashi at that, and then my father's like, "We're from 1004. We have a Korean supermarket. This is my son." You know how it is, like Indian or Korean parents. It's always like,
yeah,
"This is my son. We have kimchi. You don't have to make it here. You can save time, money, whatever." And he's like, "Yeah, let's use it." And then it just started from there because ultimately, like the rice in Korea is the same, the seaweed in Korea is the same, and so same as Japan. And so, if chefs can save costs by using Korean ingredients, they will,
yeah.
because the quality is the same as well. So yeah, he was my mentor and he helped me a lot in the first
Man.
couple of years.
Amazing. Okay. And what are his thoughts on Ugly Burger and Ugly Noodles?
I feel so sad. He hasn't tried it yet.
Oh wait.
Before we opened officially in we had a shop, he had moved to Japan. So
Okay.
he hasn't tried it because he's just way too busy when he's in Dubai. But I need to make that
Yeah.
happen. Yeah.
Do you still need to frequently visit Japan?
Yeah, I think having a pulse in the country where you source from is extremely important. I think it's one of the most important things that anybody can do is understanding what's going on in the country that they're sourcing from, what's hot, what's trending. I try to go 2 3 times a year and check out the supermarkets, check out the retail shops, get inspiration, man. Like Japan has Japan's one of the best cities to live in.
Japan is
If
years ahead
if it
of.
didn't have earthquakes, I would probably live there.
Oh yeah.
But it's just beautiful and everything's pristine, right? I don't know if you've seen these videos of kids walking around with socks on the street, and at the end they look at the bottom and
It's
it's
clean.
clean.
Yeah.
It's clean. Like it's and design wise, it's way ahead of any country in the world. And yeah, just not only do you get to eat good food when you go there, you get very inspired. If you can bring 20 30% of that to Dubai, then
How
you're
how much of your inspiration? Because like let's say like I visited Japan, right? And I walk into a 7-Eleven and the kind of tech that they've got and even just the vending machines, like way used to the normal those cooling display stands for like chilled drinks and like sandwiches and stuff. And for the first time ever, I'm seeing a hot version, which looks like the same, but all the food is being heated and there's coffee that's being heated all the time. I'm like, this is so simple, but it's there. And then you've got these slushy making machines. They're becoming popular on TikTok as well. So how much like is that something you're exploring as well?
I mean, Delhi side of things, 100%. I
Yeah.
just need, I need more people to kind of execute at this point. But I do want to kind of grow out the Delhi side of our business because it's not being represented properly. But yeah, like if you go to 7-Eleven, the chiller is actually a chiller room. So here they have chillers that's where you stack from
Yeah.
from the
It's
front,
from the back.
but from
Yeah.
there it's from the back, and it makes sense because the shelves are tilted. So when you take out a bottle, it slides down, so you don't have to keep organizing it. And it's just these little things that Japanese are so good at, and their convenience store food is probably healthier and more delicious than any like American food.
100%. 100%. I
Yeah.
gained,
Their tamago sando, their egg sandwich.
yes, the
We sell
egg
that in
mayo.
1004 as well.
Oh, really? That is
Yeah,
so
yeah.
creamy.
Check
It's
out the logo. I won't say much about it. I don't want to get sued, but yeah, it's inspired by 7-Eleven.
okay.
And yeah, shout out to
By
Chef
the,
Rahul from Row. He gave us a lot of advice because he pushed me. He's like, you should sell the tamago sandos in the shop. I'm like, yeah, but I haven't tried it, making it. So he had kind of helped us or advised us by tasting it and giving us feedback on the R&D. And then
okay.
yeah, it's delicious, man. Like it's
I mean, that sandwich is really popular. Like even on TikTok and stuff, it sells out. So for everyone watching, Japan flight tickets are expensive. You want to try that sandwich? Just head on over to
hell
1004. Like
yeah.
I know where I'm going after this.
Thank you, thank you.
It's
Sorry, it goes really well with caviar as well, actually.
with caviar.
Yeah.
Wow, I
We
would
had it
not.
we had it at the opening party at
Okay.
Nelgurer. And yeah, because it's just eggs, milk bread.
Yeah.
Just makes sense. Put some caviar on there. It's so good.
You were referencing the those stands. I forgot what they're called. Um, I don't know if you watched the show Kim's Convenience,
Oh, I love that
which
show.
so is was it like that? You know?
I, not to okay, that was a smaller supermarket, but definitely in terms of the life between the dynamic between the father and the son, and the customers, and dealing with weird customers as well. And we've had people that you know eat a half a bag of rice and say that there's bugs inside.
Oh wow.
So you finished half of it, there's bugs now. That means it's not my fault, it's your fault. You're storing it in the wrong place. And so yeah, so many, you know, issues that happen that on that show are definitely is something that I resonated with, when I was watching it. Had a bit of PTSD, but it was fun. Yeah, yeah.
What would you say was the craziest? Because be it 1004 with F&B in general, it's very tricky. It's a very risky business as well because customers are always right, but at the same time, most customers will pull a Karen, as they say. Right? What was the craziest thing that's happened?
Something crazy happened recently. So if you spend 100 dirhams, we give you a stamp.
Okay.
And so the stamp is worth around 5%. A full stamp, a full card of stamps is 600 dirhams. And there's this Korean community chat room, and people were selling that.
No way.
So they were selling 600 dirhams worth of my card for 480 dirhams at a 20% discount.
And then they would come in and
I don't know what deal happened, but yeah. So I need to digitize that better, or
okay.
I don't mind it. They deserve it, whatever. But it's just funny that there's a new economy of 1004
I mean, that goes to
stamp
show the
cards.
equity, right? Because if there's a black market for your loyalty cards, that
Exactly.
that is good equity.
Right? I need to spin this off into like campaign or
I
something.
I, th- I think you should join that group and
Yeah.
it's like, hey, you don't
Bid it
need to
up.
do this. Yeah.
Say like LP 500.
You'll still make a profit with that.
Yeah.
No, it must be how much of that equity would you say came from marketing and like ads and stuff or
So when we moved to gourmet, we made a conscious decision to appeal to the general public. Um, but when I say general public, it's still targeted in a sense where I would say the majority of our customers are actually female. By majority, around like 65%, depending on the channel. People that are interested on obviously not just Asian food, but cooking in general. I think if you like to cook at home, you will gravitate towards Asian food. And when you do, hopefully you find us. And we invest a lot in content. So we have our own. So I've spun off our marketing division basically and created a whole new company, and we handle a lot of actually government projects. So recently we received the first lady of Korea last week
okay.
when the president was in town. We organized a huge event for them and did some tastings and stuff like that. But in terms of like appealing to the public, educational videos that provide information on the products is very important because a lot of our products are foreign to people from other countries. So it's our job to educate them and get them to, like want to try the dishes. I think digital marketing spend, unfortunately, is important to us as much as I would not like to. You do have to spend money to get the word out, and you know, uh, trying to create viral, trendy videos as well. I actually had a video with Sean. I don't know if you saw it. We got like 2 million views or something.
Was that at 1004?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. It was hilarious. I love
yeah.
that guy. Shout out to Sean. I expected like 5,000 views, and it was just like probably the first and last time. But yeah, like creating trendy viral videos, educational videos, and doing events. So doing events with restaurants that we're friends with, so that we can appeal to their crowd, and then also our crowd can understand that
Yeah.
this restaurant
Collaborations.
exists as well. So yeah, a lot of different marketing campaigns, and I say this all the time. Like we're grassroots because we don't have money to advertise a Sheikh Zayed Road. You know what I mean? And like, but also by doing so, you're able to come up with more creative campaigns, and when you do, and it sticks, you have high customer retention, and that's the most important thing in this day and age, where again we're very fast paced and people move on very quickly.
Yeah. So did you, just to take a step back, did you casually just drop another company in mid conversation, the marketing company?
Oh yeah, yeah.
How many trade
I
licenses?
have a lot of trade license because I have a trade license per branch as well,
Okay,
and now I need to spin off my cafe to sublease from my own shop, which is I need to do this in like the next month and a half.
that's Soul Street.
Yeah, Soul
Yeah.
Street Cafe, and then the cosmetics as well. We're gonna get a separate license now to sublease, because now we have to start separating things a bit to structure it better, because of corporate tax as well, obviously. But I think long term, for me personally, when you have many different types of companies, it's better to segregate the operations in a cleaner way. And right now, the cafe is just an extension of 1004, like a Horeca cafe extension of 1004, but I want that to be a business in itself. And
So it's not that it's one holding company and then you have
no,
different
we don't have
businesses
holding right
under it.
now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you are treating them as separate companies altogether.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so the entire process of setting it up and getting all the legalities done, you have to do it all over again for each one.
Oh yeah. I mean, look, making a license for us is not too difficult. We have our own PRO and a PRO agency that we work with. Again, that from that perspective, it's important to outsource to people that know better than you.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on more important things. So, yeah, it's not. It's just money ultimately, I think.
And how many people do you have working
We
with you
have
now?
around, I think, 298 or something like that.
298. Is that just 1004?
That's everywhere.
That's everywhere.
Yeah. I think we've probably crossed 300 now at this point. But yeah, it's that's the biggest burden, man. Like running a business and having this many people, like it's a big burden to pay salaries every month. You know what I mean? Like there was a point where early this year, there was a client, I can't name names. They owe me at 1.6 million dirhams. And this is end of April, and we're going through the Algora construction as well, and it was very stressful with the construction. But on top of that, end of April, um, these guys, we were exiting this kind of business relationship that we had with the client, and they're like, "Oh, until you exit, we're not going to pay you 1.6 mil." Like, we're a family business.
Yeah.
Like, our payroll is 1 million every month, and and to be like to not get paid 1.6 to pay your salaries is extremely stressful. So that was probably like from end of April to like when we opened Algora was probably the most stressful time of my like 16-year career. We got over it. We had to get a quick loan, and then pay that off with the salaries, and then negotiate with them to get the payments and things like that. But yeah, we luckily, now that we're almost in December, we're in a much healthier cash flow position, much healthier business position. But yeah, it's just a lot of people means a lot of money, and a lot of money means you need to make a lot of money. And
Was
yeah,
was it easy to get the quick loan?
so we work with companies like Beehive.
Okay.
We just signed up to Flat Cap as well, but these are platforms where they do P2P loans, and you basically raise the amount of money that you want, and then they lend you. Or sometimes you have invoice financing as well, where you have an invoice from a customer and you put that into the system, and then you get a loan based on that. And then when you get paid, you pay them back.
Okay. And they charge you a percentage of that.
Very, very, very high percentage, unfortunately, in Dubai. Like, I feel like when you're in Korea, where business loans are like, I don't know, 3-4%. And Here you have to pay like 10, which is like understandable because here everybody's a foreigner.
Yeah.
In Korea, you're lending to Koreans; they're not going to run away.
Yeah.
Whereas here,
You
we
have to
could,
be.
a
Yeah.
lot of people actually do get loans and run away.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah, it's the nature of the market, and it's one of those things where like you can't complain about the environment you're in, right? I can't change external factors.
Yeah.
So
How do you make it
if the
work?
interest rate is that high, then you just deal with it, make more money, and pay it back and move on. So
Yeah. Make more money. Just that's the
basically,
solution to everything.
you can't complain about Dubai being expensive,
Yeah.
man. I feel like you just need to grind, and you know, if you need 2 3 other streams of income, then you gotta grind and do it. This place is, not just here, but in general, like it's like New York as well, right? People complain New York's expensive. You know, you gotta grind, you gotta make money, you gotta reduce your expenses and increase your
Profits.
inputs, right? Like, so, yeah.
So almost 300 people. Surely you've got like a HR department and you're delegating a lot of things,
Yeah,
right?
we have a great HR department. I love the team. They're doing an amazing job. We're always trying to improve the systems in the company. I think when you have that many people, a lot of the issues is one of the main issues is communication, and so that's something that we're trying to like improve and fix. But yeah, HR team is very very busy with like dealing with people that are resigning or firing to hiring people, and now I really want to kind of elevate or kind of put in systems where people can grow better in the company, because I think that's something that's important to a company, obviously, but it's not something that's structured well enough where they can envision themselves being in higher positions. It happens all the time. Yeah, it happens quite frequently where we promote people, we increase salaries and things like that, but there's no structure for all the different positions and entities that we
Like an
have.
org chart or yeah.
Org chart, yes, but like, let's say you start with this position as a cashier, then you can go to the next level, to the next level, to the next level, and I think that's something that we need to do better on, and that we're gonna be working on next. I mean, starting now. Yeah.
And how quickly would you say, let's say someone's just starting out a business, maybe something similar, how quickly would you recommend someone to start digitizing these things,
I think digital is everything right now. I think there's no doubt that people that buy in our shops buy more than when they buy online, because they're more curious and it's in front of you,
the
and
packaging,
we do
the
sampling in the shops and things like that. But you need to make it accessible. You need to make it digitized. We're working with an AI developer right now to revamp the website. A lot of people don't realize that having a supermarket, it's not just about having a shop with products inside with people that are selling it.
yeah.
There's a whole ecosystem on the back where we have we're working with a company called Odoo, which again, not easy, but you need a warehouse management system, you need a accounts finance system, you need HR, you need fleet management, you need uh, you know, quotation sales. It's connected to our online website. It's dealing with our butchery and the wastage. And so customizing your ERP system to suit your company's needs is very important, because um, from the back end, you're streamlining your operations. So you're not using as many people as you need, which we're always trying to continuously like improve. Um, but also from the front end, having a proper app with a good customer journey and making it easy for them to kind of buy, I think is one of the most important things for any retail business.
To essentially invest in that as early as possible as you're expanding, because
Yeah.
then it becomes easier.
And I think people are quite lucky now compared to before, where there's a lot more options like Shopify. Um, and it's a lot more easier to set up online companies, whether it's getting a trade license, whether it's setting it up. Um, and especially with, obviously AI now, right? You're able to get more information and more guidance into how to do these things yourself if you don't have the budget to work with a developer. So I think at this point, if you have any business idea in mind, there's no excuses. If you really want to do it, then invest in a very cheap, cost-effective Shopify site. Just buy the domain and just launch.
Yeah.
But you just need to know your target. Know that it's not easy to get customers to move to your platform or buy from your platform. And again, grassroots. You need to literally. It's funny how you need to be physically also be out there to sell your online website, because then people gravitate towards a personality, right? So, but yeah, 100%. There's no excuses now.
So you mentioned, you're importing things from Japan, sometimes Korea, as well.
Yeah, so we import from Korea, Japan, Thailand, China, Vietnam. We have sparkling tea cider from the UK and Taiwan, and Malaysia.
Wow.
So we import probably around, I think, 20, 25 containers a month. And we import around 3,500 SKUs. We also import by air from Japan and Korea as well. But yeah, it's not easy to deal with so many products, and I think that's, again, like, inventory management is so critical to our operations. And but for the good thing is that in Dubai, because we obviously live in the desert, um, you can't grow a lot of things here. They're trying now, and there's a lot more farms coming up. There will be oysters, obviously, um, but I would say 95% of the food that we consume is
Yeah.
imported. And because of the environment, I think Dubai has to make it easy for people to import, obviously abiding by the rules, right? So they're very strict in terms of having the right labeling in, shelf life, temperature control, and all of that. They're very, very strict. But as long as you follow the rules, it's very easy to import. But sometimes you run into problems like, uh, we we had a Peppa Pig water.
Peppa Pig what?
Peppa Pig, Peppa Pig the
Yes,
show.
yes.
So we had a water
I
that
think
was
I know
Peppa
where this
Pig,
is going.
and then when the municipal the inspector's like, "What is this?" It's like, "Oh, it's Peppa Pig. It's a famous character." It's like, "You're not allowed pictures of pigs. You have to put it in the pork section." So our poor
Oh,
Peppa Pig water is stored in the pork section because it's got a picture of the pig. I should have known because it happened before. We had this, like, it's called Teji bar, which translates to like pig bar, and it's like an ice cream
okay.
with a pig's face. They actually told us to dispose it.
Oh, you
So
couldn't
we had
even
to,
say it.
like, yeah, we had to throw it away at that time. This time they were a bit
Yeah,
more nice.
they are getting more lenient on these things because
I think with pork it's always a bit sensitive. I would say obviously with alcohol is very sensitive as well. But and also with e numbers, I think, which is a good thing. I'm not a big fan of e numbers. I don't think anybody is. So with that, they're a bit sensitive. Um, but overall, like, it's not too difficult. I think one of the issues that we had was when Kikoman, at one point, they had alcohol in their soy sauce, and then they were testing all the soy sauces, and if it was a bit above a certain level, I think it was like 0.05%, which is like very minuscule. Like, orange juice has alcohol, by the way. If you leave orange juice outside, it's going to ferment. The sugar
yeah.
turns into alcohol. Balsamic vinegar or apple cider vinegar has alcohol. It's just a very, very, very small percentage. That's insignificant. But yeah, sometimes we run into these issues, but overall, yeah, I would say we're very lucky to be doing business here because we can import a lot of the ingredients. If you're in Australia or anywhere in Europe, you can't import Japanese seafood. And so you're limited to what you can consume. And no doubt they have amazing ingredients there as well, but some of it might be better in Japan, and we get the luxury of having that being served in the restaurants in Dubai. So
Yeah, you're getting things from almost all of Southeast Asia.
everything, yeah.
So how do you manage? Because essentially, these are all these containers that are coming. Like, also dealing with those suppliers. I'm assuming by now you've agreed on a rate card and you know what you're getting. But when you were starting off with all these big imports, because a lot of people stop breaking their heads when they're just starting off, because then they're talking about landed cost and FOB and all these custom and duty and all that. So how did you start that? Like, what was your experience? And now that I think a lot of it would be automated, not digitally maybe, but you know what you're getting, things are in back order and stuff. So
Yeah, I think in terms of, freight costs and things like that, that's just maths and
Yeah.
documentation. Um, Most suppliers around the world who have export experience, they understand how to export, and you just have. We do our own clearance now, so haven't spun out a logistics company yet, but uh, but we do our own clearance for containers, and so for that we just have to hire the right person. I think the main thing actually is like dealing with the inspection and things like that. But ultimately, it's just, I mean, freight costs are so expensive after COVID. It's gone up a lot. But yeah, there's no struggle there, I would say, besides paying for the freight costs, which is very expensive and things like that. But I think we're lucky to have a bit more scale now where we're moving more volume and we're able to get economies of scale on some products, and we're able to take more risk in bringing in new products. And so that's one of our KPIs. I think it's important to continuously bring in new products so that customers keep coming back to your supermarket, right? So, and that's why I travel so many times to so many countries so that I see something cool, I'll buy it. If I see something cool on Instagram, I'll buy it as well.
Yeah.
There was a time when I was eating in a restaurant in Japan. It was a game restaurant, so rabbit, boar, deer kind of food. And they had this crazy, it's called Osmic tomatoes from Hokkaido, cherry tomatoes. It's the sweetest and best cherry tomatoes in the world. And I took a picture of it. I was still in Japan. I sent it to my supplier and then came back to Dubai in a week, and I received it from Japan.
Oh wow.
So that's like the cool side of this
Do you still
business.
sell those? Like,
Unfortunately not. I tried to push it, but it's like 500 dirhams per kilo or something.
oh
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, yeah. There's some crazy stuff that we bring in. One of the craziest stuff that I bring in is 540 days aged potato in Hokkaido.
Okay.
So basically, these potato farmers, by mistake, stored potatoes for a very long time and realized that the starch turns into sugar.
Yeah.
So it's a potato that's like sweet, like obviously more sweeter than the average potato. And yeah, they store it at, I think, 2 degrees Celsius at 98% humidity or something crazy like that for 540 days, I think.
And now that's a delicacy. Like,
And we imported for Roll on 45, which is a 2 Michelin star restaurant by Chef Jason Atherton, run by Chef Raul and Chef Dan. But yeah, they're using it. It's an incredible dish, and it's just like mind blowing. And it's something that nobody can have because the farmers ended up traveling to Dubai to eat at Roll 45 to be like, okay, they can use our potatoes.
oh
They
wow.
actually traveled to
So
Dubai.
so do you have like exclusivity with
Yeah,
these? With
yeah.
I'm assuming you do with a lot of your suppliers as well.
Not a
Not
lot, but
the
yeah, yeah. We do
okay.
have exclusivity on some of the important ingredients that we bring in.
Okay.
But yeah, but that's one of the craziest ingredients.
And what would your advice be to someone that's just starting off or thinking of starting off as a new business owner?
I think it sounds easy to say, but do market research. I recently met with these guys that wanted to enter the market, and they weren't really familiar about the market itself, and that was kind of disappointing. If you're starting a business, you need to understand where your route to
Yeah.
channel is and how much your competitors are selling for. You need to like go to your competitors, the clients' places and get information, dig deep. But they hadn't done that, and I think that's, again, it sounds obvious, but you have to do your market research, understand who your competitors are, who's your clients, how big is the market, right? You might think it's huge and you enter and it's like tiny. Um, and I think creating a foundation is very, very important. I think that's something that we didn't really have in the beginning. We kind of rushed into this business and kept growing and growing and growing. And then we're trying to play catch up to what we should have done before. And so creating a good foundation of operations and admins and systematic, work is extremely, extremely important. And lastly, ask questions. Just go to as many people as possible because you never know who they know, right? Even if they might not be helpful, they might have friends that might be helpful.
Yeah.
And so just go to as many people as possible and just be shameless and ask, like, hey, I'm thinking about this business. Do you know somebody that's doing something similar, or anybody that can give me advice? So yeah,
Especially in
those
the city that we live in, because you might not know someone, but you always know a guy that knows a guy, or as we call it, wasta.
wasta, exactly, bro.
Wasta.
Wasta is so important.
So we're almost at the end of the show, and we've reached a segment that we like to call "Do the Needful." I'm sure you've received those emails or calls, memes. Someone that looks like me going, "Do the
I'm
needful."
not gonna do it here.
So essentially what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you statements. It's a rapid fire round, and just tell me the first thing that comes to your mind. Can be just one word. First thing that comes to your mind. You ready to start?
Let's go.
Yeah. All right.
Let's do the needful.
You need comfort food.
Comfort food, kimchi jjigae, kimchi stew.
Kimchi stew.
Yeah.
You need an escape.
Escape, Thailand.
You need to cook.
Cook for the kids. Spaghetti.
Spaghetti.
Bolognese.
Spaghetti bolognese. You need drama.
Drama. Business.
You need advice.
Advice, I mean, friends, family, everyone.
Everyone. Ask questions.
Everyone. Just don't ask the right question to the right people,
Yeah.
but yeah.
You need inspiration.
Tokyo and Korea. Seoul and Tokyo.
You need music.
Honeycomb Wi-Fi.
Really?
I love Honeycomb Wi-Fi.
I was there last night.
Oh, really? Sick. I love it.
You need investment.
Investment. Banks, unfortunately.
Shark Tank.
Yeah, exactly. Shark Tank. Yeah.
And you need adventure.
Adventure. Wow. I actually don't go for adventures as much, to be honest. It sounds so sad. I would say adventure is just a business trip for me.
Business trip.
Yeah. Wherever I go.
You're lucky enough to go to the places that people, would want to go for adventure.
Exactly.
So fair.
I went to Cairo, Jordan the other time, but anyways, yeah. Business trips.
Thanks again for coming to the show. We're gonna just do one last thing that we usually do towards the end of the show, and we call it best regards. And what it is essentially, I'm sure there's a lot of people that have supported you on the way, helped you on the way, taught you a lot of things. And imagine you're writing an email to everybody that you'd like to thank. You can say to CC, BCC, subject. What do you want to say? Just look at the camera. Those people, imagine, are watching, listening. How would you thank them?
How? So many people to thank. Obviously, my wife and my kids for, my wife for holding it down whilst running an amazing business. My kids for always inspiring me, and no matter what stress I go through in the day, you just go home and you hug your kids, and it's the best feeling in the world. Just melts your heart. My mom and my dad, obviously. My mom for raising me, my dad for giving me this amazing platform to work with and to work together with. My brother as well, always pushing me. My Sharjah English school friends, who we share advice with, a solid group of people that I rely on for any assistance or advice that I may need. Obviously everybody in the company that that's grinding and allowing us to do what we do, and the customers obviously, but I think for me, people wise, my partner Eric for Ugly Burger, and Khalid and Young obviously, but Eric is really the one that's pushing the food and the operations, and he's been an amazing partner and a best friend in a very short period of time. And yeah, just I don't know, my ecosystem. You guys know who you are. I don't want to name all of you, but yeah, to our customers, to our people in the company, my family, my friends, just very grateful.
Best regards.
Best regards.
Thank you again for coming to the show. I think it's very inspiring to hear from someone that grew up here, and so many of us, family business, not a lot of us get involved and expand. So it's very inspiring to hear that you can do it. And there's a lot you can do with it. So thank you again for coming
Thank
to the
you.
show. that's it for this episode, and we'll be back with another episode, and hopefully I will see you guys at 1004 Gourmet to try the creamy egg sandwich.
Let's go.
Yeah.